right. So Donald went back to his own campsite, and he vowed to himself that he would wait all through the next day in order to hear the music of the goblins again, for he dearly loved music. And so, all through that next day, as it finally got to be evening, as it got dark and as it got late, he began to hear the mysterious flute playing out in the wilderness again, and once again he made his way down the path in the dark of the forest until once again he could see firelight twinkling between the trunks of the trees up ahead. And there in the little clearing the goblins danced again. As they would lilt slowly and play the tune slowly, they would dance slowly. And as it picked up tempo, they would dance more lively. And the wind seemed to rise and fall with the tempo of the music as if it were enchanted by the tune itself, to an ancient melody called Ilium a Howlier, or William the Tailor. One played a harp, one played a flute, and all the rest danced around the bonfire. And then the wee goblin that had played the flute.
Yeah?
YouTube is working. Facebook is not synced for some reason.
Okay, I was wondering, can you do me a favor real quick?
Uh-huh.
So we're going to work on syncing.
Okay, one more time, just one clap.
Okay. YouTube sync.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Let me adjust that real quick.
What's up?
The audio is out of phase. So let's go up.
It's streaming on Twitch, YouTube,
Okay,
and
can you clap
Facebook.
again for me real quick? One more time. Ooh, that's bad. Let's start from 0 and see how far off that is. Okay, starting from 0, we can clap. One more time. That was closer. Actually, do it one more time for me. I think that's actually pretty darn close. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Which one are you looking at?
I'm on the YouTube one.
Okay, YouTube is doing the best so far as I can tell.
ASL camera.
Facebook.
You're going to need to turn off your HDMI info, because right now I can see your little recording dot. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to turn that off. Is that a limit? Yeah. Could you show me?
Okay. So we're working on some of the cameras. This is the first time we've had a split screen. Very exciting. Again, next time it will be American Sign Language and not me. And our interpreters are wonderful, and they will be much more exciting than myself. And the reason I have a phone is so I can be in contact with the other people who are watching the different platforms. So I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to help.
Once when Obama was doing the speech, a fake interpreter got up there and was doing all this stuff, and it wasn't even addressed.
I remember that. Just some nut making sign language.
It wasn't real sign that. It was just, whatever.
So we're trying to solve to get the red recording button to not show on the screen. All those little details that have to happen. But we have the birthday boy here.
Yay.
What were some ways you celebrated your birthday today?
Well, tomorrow's going to be the real celebration. So our favorite restaurant, I called them today, and they aren't going to open the inside until next week. It's the other place. But Mesodoc could take out. We've got some nice little
A
wood
picnic.
TV trays that we're gonna take to the park with some fancier, like, plates and silverware and things, and eat it in the park on our little table for our takeout.
Well, yay! Well, good, I'm glad.
Right, that should have
And
gotten.
today, he's celebrating his birthday with us, and we are
Yes,
honored.
yes.
We are honored.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I'd ask you how old. I'm not afraid of.
Well, he had it wrong. I had to correct him.
Okay, I thought I read that, but now you know how old you are, yeah?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
67.
67.
Oh,
He
nice.
thought he was
So-
older, but I said.
So I
"Maybe-
miscalculated and
maybe
discovered
this
I was
last
a year
added
younger than I
year."
thought.
67.
That works. How we doing? Is the red dot on?
Yeah.
Nice. If that's the case, then we're able to test some more of the music.
Okay.
Do you want the same instruments or different, or do you care?
You-
Zooming out on her bit, because I think that the ASL translation is gonna be a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Pull back.
All right, pull back.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess I should
So you
be
can
saying
set that
that
a
just
little
in case. Because sometimes signs are here or here or here. So, we need to sign.
Yeah, the majority of the
My
time.
favorite sign is Ruby.
And then you can zoom in. Yeah, okay, so in case it's good.
So do you want the
some
same instruments or different instruments?
Different, or do you care?
Whatever you guys want to do today, like, if you can do a little sample of whatever coming similar to whatever is going to be happening on the 13th.
Yeah, any of this will be.
Yeah,
in it,
maybe
so.
one.
Okay.
What do you wanna do, Dave?
Should we do the opening of the other story here?
Okay.
Okay, so
Make sure that you do watch the around a bit. Okay, oh, we're good. Yeah.
Do you want the pan to go? Stay on you.
Well, with
Stay on
the
neutral, but
interpreter,
you have a lot of
it
time
was
around,
installed.
move around, get, like you want to get covered to the drum or covered to her.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Since you're doing the close up.
Okay.
But Alex, your job is gonna be simpler, just make sure that she stays pretty centered, and that's about it. Like I said, for you in particular, it's one of the easiest filming gigs we have.
Or boring,
But
however you wanna look at it.
super important.
All right, so if you guys wanna tell
Yeah, we'll do.
another story?
Yeah. So many a Manxman has been carried through the night sky half conscious and deposited on top of some lonesome mountain peak by the fairies. Why, one such fellow that I knew by the name of Donald was led from his home many miles by invisible musicians. Rum tum tuddly dum tum toady, rum tum tuddly dum tum to, rum tum toady, rum tum toady, rum tum tuddly dum tum to, until he came out upon an unknown meadow many, many miles from home. There, beneath the great harvest moon, was a huge oaken feasting table, and all about it the little people were laughing and dancing and stuffing their little faces and having a great time, and some played lively music.
Glad this is a test. Okay, here we go.
Yee-hee-hee! Whoopee! Woo! Whoop! Well, Donald came and he took a seat at the table among all the little people. And they quickly passed out plates, and they set one in front of Donald, and they put a piece of pie on top of each plate. And all the little people opened their mouths as wide as their whole bodies.
We need more volume.
More cowbells.
More cowbell.
I've had two of my three people say we need more volume. But it's doing really good. They're saying that I might not be in sync with them. I don't know. But I guess they say it's hard because I have a mask on, but it says could be a bit louder. So is there any way to?
I just did that.
Okay, let's test it now and see if I get better.
So make sure they're not peeking out when they're talking, because I noticed that we were getting really close.
Okay.
if that doesn't work, we can throw on an audio compressor, and that'll keep I think the thing that was speaking out was the drums, which would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
high transient noise thing
Yeah, so
is always.
if that becomes a problem, we can throw a compressor on it.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, whenever I went into the recording studio, the sound engineers would always cringe at drums and especially, would really peak the needles on those things. So,
Well, what do you want to try next?
well, let's try.
Hey Jim, are you on Switch?
Yeah, he's in
Oh,
sync,
okay,
by the way.
you just didn't text anything, so I didn't know. Oh, yes, I want you to text me first, and then you can also put it on Switch.
Oh, do you want something else or?
Okay, that's what everyone's been saying.
Yeah, we can.
We're
Yeah, let's
trying
go
to,
one more
okay.
story so that we can make sure that the talking levels are good.
Okay.
If you want a compressor, we can take care of that.
Sorry,
So,
what was it?
Okay,
I was just saying that, like,
Right.
he's asking if we want to have another story. I'm like, yeah, let's just have something
okay,
to detect the dialogue level.
all right, I'm gonna
And then
hang up,
if
but,
we get the
okay.
compressor on for the
Just
drum, let's
with
do
the
that.
group, make sure you add things to the group text besides the Switch, because then you know the team as well. Okay, great. Okay, so, all three of them were saying about sound. They're wondering if because you're so far from the microphone, if that's maybe part of it, but then I guess that was
That could be
invested.
turned up.
Yeah. Now you guys all have mics on yours, do
The
you?
drum is sounding good, but the
Oh.
whistle is a little
Your
soft,
audio
and
is
then when
master
he
audio.
talks, it's a
Yes.
little soft.
So what this is it's a hypercardioid. So preferably I should be up here,
But it has to move.
but I have to move. Now I can turn it up more and maybe expand that hypercardioid shape a little more. But
Should we try that?
you want to try that?
I mean, that's what tonight's for.
Let me make the mic
We're
itself a
gonna
little
test
hotter.
something out, everybody.
Check. How's that doing? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's pretty, that's not too bad. I might turn this down a tiny bit.
I can also turn up the main a little bit. So I'm about at halfway on the main.
That's much louder. The problem is when you do the drum, it's gonna flip the heck out.
Yeah, which is
Let's go ahead and try another song.
yeah, which is why you want the compressor.
Something with the drum?
Something with the drum?
Yeah, that would probably be the best.
Should we just do that piece over again we did earlier?
That's okay, you can read these pieces, we're testing.
Okay.
So a lot of these are sort of mnemonically, if I chop them up in pieces too much, it's like playing a tune,
I know.
3/4 of the way through the tune.
Right.
So,
I can say that the audio volume right now talking is a lot better.
Okay.
good. Yeah, so you'll want to compress the drum. So I've heard many a Manxman complain about being carried many miles through the air and deposited on top of some lonesome mountain peak. Why, an old fellow I knew by the name of Donald was led for many miles from home by invisible musicians. Rum tum tuddy dum tum toddy, rum tum tuddy dum tum to, rum tum toddy, rum tum toddy, rum tum tuddy dum tum to. Until many miles from home, he came out on an unknown meadow. There was a great oaken feasting table beneath the harvest moon, and at the table were seated all the little people, and they were laughing and talking and having a great time and party, stuffing their little faces, and some played lively music.
What setting would you use for the compressor?
Whoopee! Right elbow swing! Yahoo! Whoop! And so,
But let me check and see if there's any clipping happening.
Yeah, none of those things work.
Okay, now.
Could I have you just hit the drum a few times?
oh yeah. Yada da 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 dee da da yada dee da dee da dee da da yada da 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 dee da da yada dee da dee da dee da.
I think it might be clipping on your board. But I'm not seeing where the levels are for the main
So
output.
the level would be this one here. This is my microphone here.
No, do you know a way to monitor the levels coming out of the board? Normally it's with this.
Oh, I think this will.
Is it possible to increase the volume over here? Are they two separate?
Well, that's what we're taking care of right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Here's the difficulty of it. We have 3 different places that we're have to
No, I
adjust audio.
know. I knew you were on top of it. I'm just telling you what they're telling me.
Yeah, right.
Oh, is this what you're looking for?
Yep, that is exactly what I'm looking for. So go ahead and yeah. So let's bring down the main.
Bring down the main a little bit. We bring down the
Go ahead and
microphone a little bit.
We should have
let's just worry about the main.
write down their settings that we could do in that.
And then go ahead and hit the drum.
There's some yellow light. Yeah. And how hot can I be? Also, this is a little bit in front here, so the real projection is tough. Do you just do that whole segment again? Okay. Well, I've heard many a Manxman complain about being carried for many miles through the night sky. Well, I've heard many a Manxman complain about being carried through the night sky half comforted and deposited on top of some lonesome mountain peak. One such old fellow I knew by the name of Oh, yeah. Doesn't seem to be peeking out here on my board. Of course, those little yellow things, that peeked out, isn't it?
No,
It's red. It's red.
so bring it up some more.
Okay. Yeah, if I really smack it, we hit the red on that.
What are the events that are doing?
Yeah, when we used to. It can distort the sound of the other voices and instruments, as I recall. When we used to do this in the sound studio, he'd have me overdub percussion for that reason. My sound guys. No. hit the red. Let's see. How about here? If I put a thumb and mute it a little bit, let's try that. It never does it.
No, it doesn't
Does-
sound as good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as
When you mute
wild
it,
and
when you-
pagan, does it?
Well, no,
Yeah.
it just is a sharper sound if you haven't got your thumb on it.
Let's do a little lighter touch on it, maybe.
Yeah, well, let's bring up the. Sorry, let's bring up the header amp on the microphone again. The
This one?
gain.
The gain on the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a matter of let's.
There, I've got it 1
I think we
o'clock.
should probably focus on the voice right now,
Okay.
and then get the voice sounding good.
Because like if it, one thing I can do is if the voice is sounding good, I can just drag this down as opposed to going to the mass settings whenever you place the drum. Which might be a
How,
little annoying.
how serious is the distortion when it hits the red? Does it just go for a minute?
When it
A second, I mean?
when it hits 0, it starts to go. It's,
Yeah. But does it only do it for that microsecond it's in there? In the zone, so to speak?
It's just for a second. It doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah.
Let's bring up that header amp a little bit more.
It's more of a problem when you're recording. Maybe live it's not as bad a thing.
Let's bring up the header amp just a little bit more.
This
on
one
that.
here?
Yeah.
What do you think? 130 at 2?
So should I bring up his voice again back to like 10, 15, whatever?
Okay, we're
not yet.
We're at
I'm listening to what he's doing on there. Sorry,
we're-
as he's going, yeah.
Yeah, let's do the actually.
Oh, don't play the drum right now.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Now,
That's not sounding
all
bad.
the other sessions.
Go ahead and talk into the mic a little bit.
Okay, let's see. And so all the little people opened up their mouths as wide as their whole bodies, and they lifted their little plates up, and the piece of pie slid down into their gullets with a, and then they and wiped their mouths with their little sleeves, and then they looked at Donald and said, "Aren't you going to eat your pie?" And Donald said, "Nope, I just came from home. I'm completely full. I can't eat another bite."
Turn the compressor back on,
Alright.
and let's see what that sounds like.
With the compressor.
Yeah.
Okay, so just him talking again or him playing?
Let's go ahead and do a full little a full story. Like what we were doing previously.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what to call it. A full
That
practice.
way
Storytelling.
narrative, not just the drum.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So I've heard many a Manxman complain incessantly about being carried through the night sky for many miles and deposited on top of some lonesome mountain peak. Why, one such fellow I knew by the name of old Donald was led by invisible musicians for many miles from home. Rum tum tuddly dum tum toady, rum tum tuddly dum tum to, rum tum toady, rum tum toady, rum tum tuddly dum tum to. Until he came out upon an unknown meadow, many miles from home. There beneath the great harvest moon sat a great oaken feasting table, and all the little people sat about
When he was
the table.
playing, sorry, correct me back up.
No, it's just funny. I noticed.
Okay, I'll leave it on up then. Okay, go ahead and play the drum part again real quick.
If you bring up that header amp just a little bit more, I think we're good.
The header amp, you mean the input for the mic?
Still in sync.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That's good.
This is awesome.
Okay, should we just,
You want the drum part?
yeah, should we continue on where the harder hit drum is in there?
Sure.
All right,
So-
I'm gonna go listen to it outside.
And there, all about the table, the little people were laughing and talking and eating, stuffing their little faces, and some playing lively music. Whoopee! Whoopee! Right elbow swing! Whoop! And so Donald took a seat at the table where all the little people sat round. And they quickly passed out plates. And they put a slice of pie on each plate.
It sounded good, yeah. I think it could stand to be a little bit louder, but we've kind of got the.
They can hear the flute.
They can or can't?
They can't.
Oh,
Okay.
my recorder.
Oh.
Yeah.
A
I
recorder.
was calling it a recorder.
Sorry, you know what
Because you call it a recorder. It's actually a wooden whistle. Okay.
Okay, wooden
Yeah,
whistle.
it's sounding good. It could stand to be louder, but at this point, I think we've got the drum right to the
Yeah.
precipice of where it's like before distortion.
Yeah.
So
We could turn her up individually.
yeah, you can turn her up.
Right.
Okay.
Now let's make sure she's turned up too.
Yeah. But I
now-
think that in terms of like levels, I think it's pretty good right now.
Okay. And so then with this thing over here.
Oh yeah, let me get it so you can change the camera.
Yeah. So what? I just need to click on that.
You just have to be in this page.
Okay.
There you go.
On the switcher.
Okay, I just got a phone.
Okay. Cool.
Well, if we're turning me up, do we want to do a little bit of that again?
Yeah. Let's do another one where you play your whistle.
This is probably the best one to balance it.
Yeah. Yeah. And some playing lively music.
All right. Give him a second to come in. Let us know how it sounded.
And my people are saying that sometimes his voice doesn't sound loud enough, but other times it's perfect.
I think it might depend on.
High tones because of the drum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and his placement to the mic. If we had
Like the
an extra
drum.
mic just for his, if he had a mic for the drum, mic for just his
Do
voice.
we have another mic?
Or even a head mic would be headphones.
I have a shotgun that we can probably use if you want. What's up?
Okay,
So how did it sound out there? Was the
is
flute better?
Oh, I was on a phone.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
okay.
so flute is better.
Okay.
The flute's better.
All right.
Okay.
I mean,
It sounded great to me the last time.
okay. So
So it's just that if we had a third mic to separate the drum, it's the drum that's throwing off
If you had on
some
your
things.
head, it felt.
Well,
So-
he's
Oh, yeah.
putting it
It is?
so close to his mic
Uh-huh.
that even if you had a third mic, I don't know if it would change.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the overbleed would be, it'd get in the other mic, I'm sure.
yeah.
If we had a compressor that we could put on your board, that would change things.
Yeah.
But since we're not,
Or the other trick, so sometimes these sound engineer guys that I was using, they'd have a pre-programmed board that would, when it would come to the Bowen part, it would, and change the compressor around, and then when we're gone or when we're done, the compressor would shut itself off and we'd
But
go
we're
back to
in
the.
and out of it a lot in the story.
So so
Yeah.
that's
This might be as good as we can get given the circumstances.
No, I know.
yeah
And really, if we have to choose, the vocals have to be stronger than the drum. So if we had to choose,
yeah.
because sometimes it's their vocals that's been a little low, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're perfect.
But I
Yeah.
think when he's playing the Bower on though, like he turns away a little bit from the mic so it doesn't blow out,
True.
and that's why his vocals are going down a bit because of the direction of the mic.
Oh well, I could definitely get in here like this,
Alex, you're on.
And this is probably normal, but there's
Thumbs up.
background humming when no one is performing.
Oh well,
Well,
yeah,
we hear it
the
there,
machine.
That's because of that.
Sure.
But otherwise, I think that's just normal.
Yeah. So I could definitely,
it's sounding great right now.
I could definitely lean into the mic.
Try leaning in his voice.
Yeah, I think that should work.
So I could.
Probably.
So then, is there moments at the beginning or end, would that be a scene if we wanted to flash down there, here's where people can donate, here's our funders?
You mean
Like
like
at the very end?
a banner?
Mm-hmm.
Did you make one up already? Or do you need me to make one?
I don't, but I can put one together. Or
Yeah,
send
that
you
wouldn't be
some.
too hard. I mean, what I'd probably do is have it here on the scene itself already.
Okay.
I mean, like, if you, like, do you want it with a split screen, or do you want it after it's all done?
I know sometimes you can time them, but it might just be easiest to just have it there the
what I would do is, if you want it there with a split screen where people can like donate or whatever, I would have it just so that I can just turn it on. You know, I've had it because they have the little eyeball thing, so it's not visible, but it's there. Like for example, right now, if I wanted to turn off the little split screen border, I just put a little eyeball there and that turns off. Or if I want to turn off, you know, the little logo in the corner, I can do that. So I'd have it kind of similar to that, where it's there but just not visible. And then at the end, just click it and it has it.
And then you can put, that would be nice.
Yeah, that's the way I probably would handle it. So, like I said, if you have a banner, great. If you need to make one up, you can do it. Whatever.
Okay, I just wanna make sure our funders and, you know, every so often we can, you know, but if there's several, I mean, it seems like it'd be a horizontal banner
Okay.
on the bottom, not just the one corner.
Yeah. So, like, what would you want to say?
Well, one could say, you know, donations can go here,
Okay.
and then one is like funders, and then the logos,
How often would you need this to flash on?
at least at the end of every session.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be throughout.
Do you want it to be full screen?
As in like it takes over corner to corner?
As in like top to bottom, it's like after the story's
Oh,
done.
like simply being like credits?
Yeah.
I think credits might be better, especially for funders with their logos.
Yeah. So maybe fun sponsored by whatever. Go here to donate.
Right.
Would you want it to be an actual motion picture or still?
Probably easy just to be still and then that's what I
Sounds easier. I mean,
I'm not sure.
if you want it to be like a motion graphic, I
I
can
know.
do that. But
No, maybe that's next year.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I think we're good.
I don't think there's anything else to really go over tonight.
Was the harp volume okay earlier? I assume so, or you'd have said something.
If you want to play the harp through, Josh, do you mind monitoring that outside to see how the harp comes through?
Should we try the harp just once
Yeah.
more? We wouldn't even need the vocal to it. We could just start like vocals up.
Yeah, what,
Oh, is your camera not back on yet?
which one?
Oh, joy.
Okay. We could also turn that up more.
No, yeah, I've got the, probably the mic's picking it up some, but I've got the transducer flipped
Yeah.
in.
I'm getting a signal out, but it's like a black signal.
So on the harp, if the harp isn't up loud enough, we can actually
The
turn,
transducer, you
turn
can
it
turn
up.
up on our board.
and it's like an
Oh, the
electric,
harp sounds good.
okay,
Oh, okay.
it's like an electric guitar though. It doesn't have
If you
any
go higher,
sound
it
that leaks in
sounds
the microphone.
So it was black before and then you
Okay,
did
so
some.
it was all right.
It's working now?
No, just previously. Cause nothing got touched over here, right?
I don't mess with any of that stuff. I live on these two keyboards, that's it. I know my space.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. If nothing over here got touched, it must have been something on your end.
How's the connection to the HDMI cable? It's fine. It's just, for some reason when I turn it off,
Oh, they
turn
were
it back on
talking
again, it
about
breaks.
maybe writing down
I
these
don't get it.
levels. I don't know if Rachel has something
HDMI
to
inputs,
write
please.
down on.
Oh.
They probably won't get moved.
I could, yeah, what I could do is just not move any of them and put it away like it is.
But
Yeah.
is it possible to get moved, pulling it in and out of the case?
Only
You
if I
write it down.
Fumble around and touch all the switches while I'm doing
And
it.
that could happen.
Well, yeah,
That could happen.
I'll try not to.
It's saying that Dave's camera's cutting in and out, probably because it's being looked at, right?
Let's see, let's go through your menu.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to another this one is on 3.
Okay.
Should I try moving
Now
into
at
4?
least we should, what?
Should I try moving into a different one?
Oh no, I just want to see if we get his signal coming through.
Right now it says.
Try turning off your Instagram. Did that just come through?
Oh yeah. Nope.
No,
wait.
that's the.
Do the camera.
Yeah. Interesting. It was like.
Here's an idea. What if we have this camera go into that one and that one go to this one? And we switch,
That's definitely an option.
we switch outputs because you used yours with your Elgato by itself before, right?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
Just last time you were here.
Well, sure. Do you want to try that?
Sure.
Are you recording right now?
No, I'm not.
So are we streaming anymore?
I'm still
We
recording.
can stop streaming. We are still streaming and recording.
Okay.
Do you want to stop?
No, that's, I mean, we're testing, so it's
So we're
okay.
trying to troubleshoot.
That's up to you. That's totally your call.
If for some reason when I change batteries, it stops communicating.
Alright, let's try swapping out, man. I'm gonna stop streaming then for a bit.
Okay.
I'll troubleshoot. I think I got most of the stuff figured out.